to the Lipedema Podcast. We are your host, Shell.
And Tiana, and today our special guest is Belinda Tai from Estas Bell. Belinda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
You
Very
are most
excited.
welcome. Belinda, what inspired you to create Estas Bell, and what need were you seeing in women's lives at the time?
Estas Bell, as you all know now, it's a shapewear brand, but what makes us really special is it's Colombian shapewear. So I've got a background in nursing. As a registered nurse, I saw that patients didn't have so many options. After having liposuction and BBL, you do get medical compression garments that your doctor or your surgeon refers you to get, and they're quite expensive. And most of the time, you can only wear it for that purpose of, recovery. I then realized that Colombian shapewear was designed differently because after wearing it for your medical purposes, you can actually wear it as every day because it's actually aesthetically designed in an advanced way where they've got like butt lift pockets, they've got hourglass ranges. And I thought that was going to be a really good brand to start so that patients can have shapewear that was more versatile as opposed to paying all this money and then having this medical garment that you can't wear again. So the shapewear, that was the biggest inspiration, is to sort of like give women that option of if you've had surgery, you've got something that you can have as a great investment because it's lifelong. And another inspiration for me was because most people who've had these type of surgeries already knew of post-surgical compression garments, like they're called fahas. So I want actually my one of my biggest reasons was to bring it onto the fashion space. I wanted to supply it to those women and that didn't know about this wonderful shapewear. Yeah, hence why I started the brand.
That's interesting because I'm just reflecting on my own
Yeah.
surgical experience, and my surgical garments, the garments that I wore specifically post-surgery, have been in my cupboard, not being used since 2024, when no, 2023, when I had my surgeries.
And that's quite an
Yeah.
investment, just sitting in your wardrobe.
It is quite an investment. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of money to spend and they don't come cheap. So I think having shapewear that you can actually use it as every day because this shapewear can be worn post-surgically, can be worn postpartum, every day. You can even wear it while working out. And if you are trying to lose weight, you can actually wear a faja as a daily basis because fajas do give you that compression and naturally will limit the amount of food that you'll ingest because it gives your stomach that feeling of being compressed and full. So I've known
Like
some
wearing tight
customers who've
pants when you
actually,
go for a night out.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. So very versatile shapewear. So you really do get value for money there, which is very good.
Yeah. Well, we also know that, in terms of, especially for lipedema, skin, the integrity of our skin and having compression on top of, even if it's not just post-surgically, but for our lipedema, it avoids the growth because there's no way the inflammation can get in there because it's so compressed. And also if you're post-surgical, it helps retain the skin by lapping it back onto the other tissue inside so that you don't have that loose hanging skin. I mean, of course, a lot of it is genetics, but you can, if you put your garments on very regularly, your skin integrity has a better chance of bouncing back post-surgery.
Okay.
So the more enjoyable garment wear is, the more likely we are to wear it consistently, which means we'll have better outcomes.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah, that's right. It is made with medical grade fabric. They're made from Colombia, medical grade fabric from Colombia. However, we're not necessarily selling them as medical products in Australia, but we do have a lot of our customers choose to wear them for their recovery journey because the fabric power net, like what you're explaining, it maintains integrity with compression and with wear. Unlike all the other shapewear where you wear it a couple times, it stretches out, you have to get a new one. Power net fabric is made in such a way that it has to maintain the integrity to give consistent compression. That's why it's really good for post-surgical recovery. Because what you're saying is right. Yeah, you have to have constant compression. After surgery. So you can imagine if you've ever had liposuction, they create a gap between your muscles there and your skin, your fat layers. So there's a gap there. So we want to reduce the chances of fluids accumulating between that gap, infections happening. So having a really good compression garment that keeps that tightness onto your stomach if you had liposuction is what you need. And you wear it for like at least, I think every day for at least 6 weeks, depending on what your surgeon tells you. So it has to be a very comfortable garment for you to be able to tolerate that for 24 hours a day. Yeah.
100%.
So just going back to so this is from Colombia.
Yes.
Is Colombia popular for surgery? Is that why?
100%. Like if you lived in the US, that would be the place where you'd go to have your surgery versus Turkey.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's apparently it's
Ah.
a lot more cheaper to have surgery. Don't quote me on this one, but apparently it's a lot more economical to have surgery in Colombia. I'm not saying go to Colombia for surgery, but it's very popular there.
It's a bit far away for us anyway, but
But if you happen to be in Colombia,
yeah, have a holiday in Colombia.
I actually have a friend who went to Colombia. She's actually South American herself. So she knew about, surgeries in Colombia. She actually went to Colombia and had a mummy makeover. And she came back looking really good. Yeah. It's very, very popular there. And because it's been such a big industry there, their compression garments have got so much popularity worldwide as being really good quality. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never
never even considered Colombia.
No, me neither. That's interesting.
It is the place most people used to go for
There you
plastic
go.
surgery, and until Turkey came onto the space.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of the plastic surgeons in Colombia know about lipedema. That would be so interesting.
I would say a lot, because wasn't there recently in South America somewhere there was a Lipedema conference?
Well, there you go.
Okay.
So I would think that they might be on their way to being well versed about it.
Cool. It's good to have that broad worldwide knowledge.
Oh,
That's very good.
absolutely, and especially
Yeah.
if they've already got the compression
Oh,
for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you think about the women who use Estas Bell, what do you hope they feel or experience when they interact with your product?
I really hope that they really see the difference and the effectiveness of the shapewear. Because, for example, we've got an hourglass range, and our hourglass range is actually manufactured in an hourglass shape. So it then gives you that definition of waist to hip ratio. So I think a lot of women do like that shape of, smaller waist, wider hip sort of look. So the shapewear does give you that aesthetic if you are, suited for the hourglass range. So I really hope a lot of women do see the effectiveness of the shapewear, give them more confidence, and feel really good in their body. Because that's what I get from the shapewear. I absolutely love it. I wear it all the time. I wear the hourglass range myself. I like to wear bodycon dresses. I've had 3 children. I do have a tummy, mummy pooch. So it does actually really compress me quite effectively. And I feel good when I'm in my dresses. So I really hope that is what all the other women are getting out there, and that they're also getting value for money and seeing that this is really a really good product.
I love that. We've said before that wearing compression just makes us feel more snatched and more put together. So you get that confidence because your body is held. It's like a warm hug. So having good products that also support that, because you can buy cheap stuff at Kmart and stuff like that.
I have.
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Oh, it's awful.
It's awful. The fabric's awful.
Awful, and there's no longevity, and it's really uncomfortable, and it digs in places I don't want it to dig.
Yeah.
And with like you're mentioning with like just regular shapewear at Kmart, most of that shapewear just flattens your body. It's not necessarily accentuating what you already have. Unlike Estas Bell, we have shapewear with butt lift pockets, gives you that BBL looking butt without necessarily having to have the surgery. So it's got these butt lift pockets at the back where your bum sits in there, and it gives it like a nice little round peachy bum. And they all have like a toilet gusset, like a open crutch where you can easy use to go to the bathroom. So it's well thought as in regards to its functionality too. Yeah.
Yeah. What came to my mind when you were talking about that was that women with lipedema often have that natural disproportion between their waist and their hips anyway. So I would say that a lot of our listeners would probably benefit from that hourglass range, because naturally our waist to hip ratio is out of proportion. None of us lipedema ladies need a BBL. Can I just say we have natural BBLs, which is, I suppose body isn't fashion. Like everybody's body is valid and body isn't fashion. But there has been a time before this new movement of super skinny where that look, that hourglass look and shape is very fashionable. And I just say it needs to stay that fashionable because us lipedema ladies have that naturally. And if we can use a product like this to make us feel more confident in our clothes, just in that smoothing, but also in the functionality of having that compressiveness that we need for our lymphatic system, I think that's cool too.
Yeah. And also being the hourglass, and we are hourglass shape, it fits us.
Oh, that's so true.
Because so often we go to buy things and the waist is too big, so we don't feel comfortable in our clothes. So having an hourglass range for us, very good. Very good.
Yeah. So
yay, you.
It's actually a popular range. The hourglass is very, very popular. Yeah. And we've got two designs that are actually quite long, like just above the knee sort of length. So you can actually wear them with your dresses that are a little bit below the knees or jeans. Yeah. Or those midi type dress lengths as well. Understanding that with lipedema, I mean, I know some of the women can actually have it all the way down to their ankles there, but some of it really just concentrates on the thigh sometimes. So I think if you can get great compression there, that would be very good.
Yeah, so just practically for our lipedema ladies, like we have to call out that whilst this is medical grade compression, those of us with lipedema all the way down to our ankles, it's probably a garment that we can put on if we're going out somewhere and we want to look nice in our clothes.
And feel confident.
And we've got a dress that sort of shows our bottom half of our leg. Then we'd wear something like an Estas Bell garment. And then when you get home, put on your regular long compression that supports your lymphatic system or add some of those compression socks to it. So there's different ways that we can go about supporting our lymphatic system, but we all all of us want to go out and feel amazing. So this is just an option that we can use as well. So how you did talk about the two designs, the range for your shapely ladies, what is it called?
The hourglass. Yes.
So how do you approach choosing products that support women with conditions like lipedema? And I feel like you've covered a lot of that because you have that shapewear option, but is there anything else?
Yeah. Well, first of all, getting the right size is very important. So our shapewear is one of those that you actually have to measure your waist and your hip. You have to get the actual inches or centimeters because the shapewear is structured. It doesn't stretch out that much, and because it gives that much compression, right? So you can imagine if you are not measuring yourself, you've got the risk of buying something that's not going to fit you, most likely quite small because they're made in Colombia. Colombian sizes are on the smaller side. So definitely measuring your waist and your hip assists to give you the sizing. Now, when it comes to like the hourglass range though, now this shapewear can compress you up to 15, 17 centimeters on your abdomen. Let's just say 100 centimeters. It's a bit more practical for most people. 100 centimeters abdomen. You can go and get on our size chart a shapewear that is 15 centimeters smaller than your abdomen because expect a faja to compress you that much. So they say it will reduce you up to 1 to 2 sizes. Yeah, depending on the style that you get. Because of the fabric and how it just compresses you. It doesn't have too much give, but somehow it's actually quite comfortable enough to wear the whole day. Because if you remember, it has to be worn for at least 23 hours a day if you've had surgery. You have to be able to wear 23 hours a day continuous. So it's extremely comfortable fabric. I think that's one of the most important things when you're trying to buy a faja is really what you're trying to compress. Are you trying to compress your abdomen? Are you trying to compress your hip? Now, when it comes to your hip though, we don't want you to be compressed 15 centimeters with your hip because our hips don't compress in. So with your hip measurement has to be almost within that range. So if you've got a hip measurement of, let's just say 130, stick to the size chart. Choose your hip size according to the size chart. If you're 130, probably get a hip shape of, I don't know, maybe 130 to 135 sort of range. Because each faja size goes up 5 centimeters. So yeah, from like a small to a medium. So they only have like a 5 centimeter increments. So with your hip, no negotiations. You have to be comfortable there. But with your abdomen, there's a lot of room of movement with compression. Yeah.
Some good tip, especially that one about going with your hip measurement.
Yeah. So that's number one. And number two, the shapewear comes in different compression levels. That's the beauty about fajas as well. It's not one compression fits all, like all shapewear where you go to Kmart, you're a size 10, you're a size 6, you're a size 8, you all buying the same product and expecting the same effect. That is not how fajas work, actually. Fajas have different compression levels. So you've got to, we stock from a medium compression, high compression, and very high compression. So it gives people an option as to how far they want to go. Now, our medium compression fajas are more stretchier. They're still quite effective, but they're more stretchier and they're like a silky, smooth looking fabric, more comfortable. If you're just looking for something that is not too compressing, you can go for like a medium compression. It is still medical grade fabric still.
Yeah.
And then we've got our high compression fajas, which are more suited for like that everyday wear. You want to go partying, you go for function, you want to do daily maintenance. Let's say you've had liposuction, because patients who've had liposuction, or ladies who've had liposuction, sorry, being a nurse, I say patients a lot, who've had liposuction, they do daily molding with their compression garments. They want to keep that waist snatched, so they wear it every day. So your high compression garment is suited for that. Very high compression garments, more suited for people who've had surgery pretty recent. So they're going through the stages of their compression garments. Our highest compression garments is what I would recommend, because that's going to be more effective for your healing journey. So you've got the sizing, compression level, very important, and deciding what part of the body you want to compress. If it's your thighs, you'd get something a bit longer, something shorter. If you want to get something that's suited for like shorter dresses and shorts and things like that. So those are the things I would say you need to look into if you want to choose the right faja for yourself.
Yeah, great tips. Something that comes to mind is just for our community, the thigh circumference of the garment and how tight they are, I suppose. We do have, we have thighs and powerful thighs, and sometimes it's very hard to find, for example, thigh high stockings. You know, the thigh high stockings with the lace around them and stuff?
Yes.
They can never wear those because that elastic is always too tight on my thigh. Always too tight. And so I'm curious about what kind of give the end of the garment has for people with bigger thighs.
No, the fajas do have a lace on the ends. I think all of them, actually all of our styles actually do have lace on the ends.
Pretty finished.
Yes, it's not so much an elastic sort of lace, like, that will dig into your skin. It actually just flows smoothly along from the finish of the faja, just carries on along nice and smoothly along to your legs. It does have a silicone lining inside to just stop the lace from rolling up. It kind of sticks to your legs, sort of thing. But it's not necessarily elastic. It's stretchy, but it's not the type of elastic that will dig into your skin. And because it's quite thick, it's got a bit of a thickness to it. It doesn't necessarily have that capacity to really dig into your skin because it's quite thick as well. Yeah.
Yeah, good to know.
It's quite a comfortable lace,
One thing that goes to my mind about shapewear is when I look at the models online wearing it, like I want a short, but then I have very long legs. And so I need to buy the short length to be longer to accommodate my legs and abdomen. And so on a normal model, perhaps it would look a bit granny style because it's just above the knee. But on me, it would finish in the right area of my leg where that natural indent is. Whereas if I tried to go with a shorter garment, it would just
cut the circulation off.
Well, Belle's saying that it's
stretchy,
and it's a smooth finish, but it would just be sitting in the wrong part of my leg because the leg has a natural curvature to it. So like the inner thigh, and then down toward the knee. Mine's, because my leg's long, is longer. I need more length to the leg.
Okay. Is that what you're saying? All right. I mean, if you do need more length, we do have varying lengths. There's different styles of different lengths. Some are like for really short styles. Now, I generally don't recommend getting a really short faja if you've got bigger legs or bigger thighs.
Yeah.
Generally, I have bigger thighs. I wear fajas myself. I do not recommend wearing really short faja if you've got bigger thighs, because naturally it will roll up because of the aesthetic of your body, not because of the faja itself. So if you're small, if you've got smaller thighs, definitely well suited for really, really short fajas. Because what you will find is when you've got the bigger thighs, if you buy a knee length faja, it will sit up high a little bit for you if you've got the bigger thighs. However, the hourglass range is also made different. It's made to accommodate that, because our hourglass range has a smaller waist and a bigger thigh or bigger hip accommodation.
Right.
So it will accommodate for those ladies that really need longer fajas and they've got the bigger thighs. So that's what it's great for as well.
When looking at your website, just as we're talking, we're looking over the side, and I was just showing Shell the hourglass ones with the long thighs, and we're both like,
yeah. It'll be good to have one that's actually longer. There are designs that can actually go longer just past the knee, if but yeah, I just haven't thought about bringing that one in stock. But there are definitely fajas that are definitely longer, that go past the knee, and some are even halfway down the calf as well. Yeah,
could be interesting. Yeah. But I do like the ones that it looks like, the hourglass ones, you're right, it's just sort of above the knee, and that definitely be more suitable to someone who has long legs like I do. And can you talk to us about your size ranges, Belinda?
Yeah, we stock from size, depending on the style, it can be extra small, but small being the popular one, from size small to 3XL. Now, because these are Colombian sizes, it's not your typical 3XL in Australia, you'd have to measure yourself. I can use myself as an example. I wear a size 16. In clothing, so yeah. But I would wear a size 2XL or a 3XL, depending on the style of the faja, because all the fajas are kind of made a little bit different to each other. They all have different size guides. So, for example, if you're having a look at my website, there is one called Naomi Hourglass Faja. I wear that in a 2XL. Now, I do have a slightly larger abdominal circumference. I've had 3 children. But because I'm so used to wearing fajas, when I measure myself for the Naomi, the measurement I use is at least about 20 centimeters smaller than my actual waist. So it really takes me in that much. And because I'm so used to it, you do get used to wearing the compression garments. And that's the advice. Wear it gradually. So you wear it a couple hours. When you first start wearing it, you can wear it for a couple of hours, see how your body goes with it. Then you keep increasing as you go by, because as you go by, your body gets used to the compression. This is if you're wearing it for everyday wear, but if you're wearing it for post-surgical uses, you're just going to have to wear it from the get-go.
Just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, from the get-go. Yeah, you can't gradually increase.
You will have that discipline to be able to wear them for, aesthetic and fashion reasons. So I suppose it's like a weird gateway towards wearing them for fun reasons.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. I did try to create content myself with the fajas. I do have a video on Instagram that I recorded myself.
Right.
It's not the greatest quality, but it does show you the differences to how much it does take you in from where I started with the faja itself and to where I ended. A lot of the customers actually do have trouble. I won't want to say trouble, but I guess with fajas, also how you wear it is one of the techniques is how you wear it. It's also quite important. I should have added that as well. How you wear the faja is actually an important aspect of this shapewear, because it's such a structured garment. The seams have to all sit in the right place for the faja to close. So it's got seams on the sides of your hips and it's got seams on the inner thigh. So your inner thigh seam has to sit smack bang in the middle of your thigh, and the hip seams have to sit on the side. So if it's not looking like that, you have to shift it until the seams are sitting like in the middle. Then you can start closing the faja, and you can only close the faja from the bottom if it's got pins. If it's got a zipper, it's got a zipper. But if it's got pins, you always start hooking it from the bottom. Now, when you first put it on, you might see a distance of probably this much between the edges of the faja, like a really big distance. But the idea is for you to pull the edges together. You have to pull them in while you're tucking in your stomach. That's what gives you the sculpting. And that's what makes the difference with other shapewear brands, because other shapewear brands, they don't have openings. You just wear it from your legs. It stretches through to to your hips, and it's supposedly supposed to give you a small waist when it gets to your abdomen. That's the assumption, right? Whereas fahas are made with a smaller waist already, especially if it's hourglass. Hence why they have openings, because if you didn't have an opening, you couldn't get it through your hips. So the actual closing of the faja, bringing the edges together, is what gives you the sculpting, and that's what makes the difference. Yeah.
Sounds like it's a workout.
Oh yeah, but you will get used to it. Once you start wearing fajas, you get really quick with it. If you do get a chance, have a look at my video on Instagram. I think it's you'll see it. You won't miss it. You'll see it.
The show notes too.
We'll link it.
Yeah, you'll see it. I really did try, but not the greatest quality. But yeah, you see what I mean. Yeah.
Very cool. We've got one last question for you, Belinda.
Yeah.
What's something meaningful you've learned from your customers since starting Estas Bell that continues to shape the way you run the company?
It's when you get that email from someone saying, "Thank you so much. This is really great shapewear." When they're really happy and they're showing their gratitude. I really appreciate it, and catches me off guard because they're showing gratitude to you. I'm the one supposed to be showing gratitude to them because they're supporting my business. But they're like, "Thank you so much. This is really good shapewear. I appreciate it. Thank you for your guidance." Because most of the time I end up emailing people just to guide them on how to choose their sizing and how to wear it and so forth. So that is what really keeps me going and gives me the hope that this is a really good product. Like every other entrepreneur, I have so much belief in this product, like every other entrepreneur, I reckon, that this is really good. There is a lot of educational information that I need to put out there because it's a fairly new product on the Australian fashion space. So there's a lot of work that I have to do in terms of educating people on what the product is, what it does, how to wear it, and how to get the best value from it. So yeah, once my customers get that, that's the best for me. Once they understand how to wear the faja. I've had customers that have bought like 5 different fajas. Some styles have discontinued, but they'll come and buy different styles for different occasions. That's really encouraging to me.
That's a good sign. Yeah. Return customers is always a good sign.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're sharing your passion.
Yes, 100%. Yes. Yeah, it's very good.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Belinda. And
all the best with Estas Bell.
Yes.
We'll have all of the details in the show notes.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Thank you. It was really nice, really lovely. Okay, bye.
This podcast is powered by Estas Bell, an Australian company specialising in women's shapewear, girdles, fajas, and body shaping accessories for everyday use. Lipedema and its symptoms vary from individual to individual. The opinions and advice voiced in this podcast are of a personal nature and used for educational purposes.
Please take away from this podcast what resonates with you, and please see your GP or preferred specialist for diagnosis and healthcare. We are Shelley and Tiana from the Lipedema Podcast. Until our next episode, bye for now.